Here in Austin, Texas, the live music capital of the world, the perfect place for the South by Southwest 2024 premiere of Thank You and Goodnight, the Bon Jovi Story. Welcome to South by.
Thank you.
What makes this the perfect place to premiere? Thank You and Goodnight.
Music, movies. I mean, Bon Jovi is perfect. Austin's the perfect place to show a movie like this.
Why was now the right time for a 4-part series about Bon Jovi?
I think because we got to follow him now. He's still in it, but his journey's much different. And then we got to contrast that to his journey through the 80s. And so you get a little bit of an A-B contrast instead of just, this is everything we did now that it's all said and done. We get a little bit of, you get a progression of what 2023 Jon is going through.
So, listen, I'm from Philly, born and raised, but for someone like me who's been a fan for 40 years, what do you hope that this perspective of looking back on everything will bring?
In terms of perspective, just giving a little bit more insight to what they were going through in the 80s, the amount of shows they were playing, how they were trying to grow their fan base by touring the world and just bringing everyone together through music. I mean, they were just trying to do something that they loved, and they were all doing the best of what they could. And I think that goes for anybody who wants to be the best at what they do. I mean, that's what really comes through in the film is they're all just guys who are trying to be great at something. And Jon, and being the leader, wants to do what he loves for the rest of his life.
What do you hope people take away from good Thank You and Goodnight?
Just the passion and love he has for music, and that the band has for just playing for people and having people come and enjoy themselves and enjoy their music.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Really looking forward to it. Thanks so much. Why is South by the perfect place to premiere Bon Jovi?
There's such a history here, obviously, not just film, music, and so, a lot of great rock documentaries. And just like the vibe here, I think is different, unlike any other film festival. I know Jon was really excited, when we started to talk about this. So it's pretty special to be here.
What brought on those talks? Why was now the right time for a 4-part series about Bon Jovi?
I mean, look, I think there's obviously the 40th year, that was a milestone. When we started to going into production, though, we were in year 39, and what I was immediately drawn to was what Jon was going through in year 39. Was he going to get to year 40 in terms of his voice being able to perform? And, that's a story that gave it real stakes. And that was fun to document.
What do you hope people take away from watching this 4-part series about Bon Jovi?
I mean, look, incredibly talented, one of the most iconic bands of the last half century, but also just a relentlessness, a work ethic. These guys are special. I mean, their 16th, album this week. And so that's a testament to just how intense, and Jon's really like that. He reminds me a lot of the athletes I've worked with in the past, just that unwillingness to give up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
What makes South by the perfect place to premiere?
We're going to find out. I'm excited. First time anyone's going to see it outside of the family. And so this was a great opportunity for us.
So what brought this on? Why was now the right time to tell the story, you guys?
It's the 40th anniversary of the band. So it's a great mile marker. This moment in time needed to be recognized.
Well, when you look back, when you were working on the film, and you're looking back, you're going through your archives, looking for your past footage, photos, video, concerts, whatever, studio stuff, what did you discover about yourselves?
It's been a hell of a journey. It seems like 40 years is a long period of time, but it's really a blink of an eye.
Well, what do you hope people take away, whether they're longtime fans like this guy, or just people who are familiar with your music and don't know a whole lot about it?
We've been a part of the American patchwork of pop culture for 4 decades now, and so people have been along for that ride at varying points, and they should see that there are the ups and the downs, and that's what a real career is built on. It's about the entire journey thus far.
So you're up to your, I think, 16th album. It's by my count, about 16 albums, studio albums. So how did making this film, this 4-part series, rejuvenate the band and bring some energy and creative juice back to it?
There was never a shortage of energy or creative juices, but this album really, we found joy simply in the process. 2020, our last album, was very introspective. It was a narrative of the times we were all forced into. With this record, we're in a different place. And so emotionally, I'm in a place where joy is prevalent. I think with one foot looking behind and one, looking ahead, you're firmly entrenched in both camps here. And so joy, it's all about joy.
Thank you, brother. Thanks so much. We are at the 40-year mark for the band as a whole. So how did making this documentary sort of refresh y'all creatively moving forward?
It's what's amazing for me is like being a latecomer. Living on a Prayer was a song of my youth, like a big song of my youth. In a bar, all my friends at last call, screaming "Living on a Prayer" at the top of our lungs. So to this day, when I get on stage and we play Living on a Prayer and the audience gets so electric, it's me on the talk box. I get goosebumps. After 300 shows, I still get goosebumps. It's amazing.
So when you were all working on this film, and you're looking back at what all, even before your time with the band, what were the biggest discoveries for you all collectively when you were looking at concert footage, studio footage, live appearances and so on?
Yeah. To me, it was, it's just you sit back and it's like, hey, this is your life, right? So to me, it just felt like an amazing, everything going by really quickly, and you think of your friends and your family and all the support you got from all the people around you, and then this is a family as well.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know what else to say. It's like just being in an amazing family and getting to share these moments again.
Yeah.
It's just, because when we toured in 2022, we did a lot of the interviews for the documentary. And it's just, I learned so much in this band, about the band, about the fans, about the music, about how it touches people. And you get people that hold up signs at a concert and say, "This is my 200th show." And you're like, "You've been to 200 shows?" There's got to be a moment from that band that made you fall in love with that moment to come back and cherish that moment again and again. So that's what I learned being a part of this. Thank you
Thanks
so much.
a lot.
Thank you.
No, I think they have you go down.
What makes South by the perfect place to premiere the Bon Jovi Story?
Oh, the perfect place. Well, this place seems to have a little bit of everything, as what I remember of this festival, because I've been here several times for music. I know about the art that's involved, and now I'm just learning that there's also a film aspect of it. So I'm excited to be here for this reason.
What do you hope people take away from 40 years of Bon Jovi?
40 years, just to see the legacy of a band who just started like any one of us, and what they've created, and who they still are. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Have a
too.
nice festival. How are you?
I'm very well.
I'm very excited. We just have you stand right here. So, what makes South by the perfect place to premiere the Bon Jovi Story?
Wow. Well, because it's South by Southwest is known for this stuff, for new music, in our case, a new documentary, and I think it's the perfect place to do this.
So why now? What was the reasoning behind hey, let's get our story down?
Well, get it straight, get it down, because, we're not getting any younger. And it just seemed, to have got them direct it and put it together, it just worked, and it was definitely the right thing to do. And when you get the band watching the thing, and the room is teary-eyed, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I loved it.
So, when you're going back, you're telling your story, you're looking back on the old footage, live stuff, studio stuff with the fans, live appearances, whatever. What were the biggest discoveries for you?
When we played Wembley when I played Wembley with them the first time, I think it was the first time they played it, we did 2 or 3 nights, seeing that after the fact, so many years after the fact, and I mean, I go, wow, I know I was there because I see me on the screen, but holy mackerel, 75,000 or 80,000 people, that's a lot of people. And I didn't realize that being up there, you know, you're worried about your work and getting everything right. And it was to see things like that, it just was amazing to me.
How did making this 4-part series reignite the creative direction of the band?
Well, that's a question you'd have to, I think, ask Jon, because it reignited after seeing it and doing this new record. It all reignited it. It all just, you know, it just feels right. It sounds right. It's the best record that we've done, I think, in 20 years. I agree with Jon saying that it's. It's between the record and the documentary, it's the right time.
Why is South by Southwest the perfect place to premiere this docuseries?
Well, it's music and film. It's music heavy and film heavy. And the fact that it's a creative city, I mean, every time I come to Austin, you wonder why Willie lives here, and you wonder why so many great artists live here, because it's a great place because of that. You know, boisterous music. It's not Dallas. It's not, you know, closest thing to it would be New Orleans and Nashville. You know, so I mean, but you guys top it.
So listen, going back when you're working on this, with all the archive footage y'all have, live stuff, studio stuff, fan stuff, just live appearances talking about whatever. Like, what was like the biggest rediscovery for you? Putting all this together and looking back at all that old footage.
You know, all the stuff I forgot. I mean, it's amazing what we have accomplished in 40 years. And somehow you don't, you know how you you have 1,000 pictures on your thing, and then until you sit down and look at it, every one. I mean, it's sort of like watching yourself go up on camera. And, you know, you see the down times, you see the up times, you see you feel the emotion, you laugh because it's goofy. I mean, there's a lot there to digest. It's one of those things that I think the fans are going to love.
When all is said and done, and you're working on this film, this docuseries, at the same time that you're working on a new album, how did looking back help you all move forward? Like reignite your creative juices kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, it's weird. The universe lined up because the fact that we're able to do two things. And it took a couple of years to do the doc, and we've been working on this record. That, you know, when a record falls together really smoothly, it's a good one.
Yeah.
And Slippery and Wet had those feelings, and I don't think we've done a record like this in a very, very long time. And it's a super record. It's a lot of fun. It's positive, and I think everybody's going to be able to relate to it, which is kind of cool in this day and age.
You guys have always been super.
Thanks. You know, yeah, you try. You know, you don't. All you do is put your stuff on the table and hope somebody eats it.
I am so excited to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck.
Pleasure.
Keep going, man.
Thank you.
It was so much fun to watch that with all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Belisa Balaban. I oversee documentary programming for Hulu. Please join me in welcoming world-renowned author Deepak Chopra, who will moderate our discussion today. And please join me in welcoming his son, our filmmaker, Gotham Chopra. And Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, David Bryan. Tico Torres. And Mr. Jon Bon Jovi.
Did you enjoy that?
Yes.
Yes.
I really liked it.
So Jon, you know, you've been defined by all kinds of fame, but two things that stood out when I watched the movie. One is joy is the only measure of success. And two is pursue excellence, ignore success. perfect example of that. But looking back at this now, looking at all the labels, all the adulations, at the heart of it, when you witness your own life, it looks like a dream. But they say in spiritual traditions, the highest intelligence is the ability to observe yourself and witness yourself without judging yourself. So after all this, who are you?
Whoa.
You asked for this, Jon.
Yeah, that's.
I've done enough self-help. I am. That's the answer. I got the answer right. That is all the years of shrinks, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
That is the
Therefore,
answer, is it not? I am.
Tico, I asked...
I caught you by surprise.
Got more.
You got more? Go ahead.
No. I mean, look, I am the sum of the parts, the love, the friendship, the disciplines, the joy, but most importantly, just simply the love that I felt from an audience and from my brothers and from my family. This love.
That's so beautiful. I am love, and that's the secret of Bon Jovi. He is love.
Yeah.
Tico asked Gotham to describe you. He said you are the Zen in the group, that you intuitively see the big picture. And David, I also asked Gotham what you were, and he said the opposite. No bullshit, no Zen. What do you guys have to say?
Together I am. We am. We is. That's there. Yin and yang.
You know, they say that a winning team has shared vision, emotional and spiritual bonding, complementing each other's strengths. And I think you show those traits. That's an amazing team.
Yeah, everybody.
And finally, you know, let's not pretend that I'm here as a neutral interviewer. Okay. Gotham's mother is here in the back. And when Gotham was growing up in Belmont Hill School, he wasn't that great, by the way. His grades weren't that great. And my wife, Rita, would always complain. He's always watching sports and music, and he's really poor at math. I said, don't worry, one day he'll do something with sports and music, and he'll get a mathematician to be his accountant. And there he is. This is a very proud moment for me.
Well, he's great.
And hopefully he has a good accountant.
And Gotham, you found your purpose. You're singing your song right now, not worrying who listens or what they think.
Yes, growing up, my sister and I were the objects, the guinea pigs for all of the spiritual lessons that maybe 97 books he's written about. But look, the ones I remember actually are, pursue your dreams. So sports, music, I was obsessed growing up. Surround yourself with excellence. So, just people you admire. And, my team, everything you saw up there. I mean, Alex, our editor and producer, is here. Giselle Peretz, our executive producer. And of course, they are backed by, an army of talented people. It's kind of like a band. And then the last one was be of service to the world. And, I could see Jon was getting emotional, and I was getting emotional, like watching this. And because it's like you're part of something, and it's not just this band, it's part of this. And this has been going on. Somebody was asking me out there, what's the legacy? And not like I should be answering this, but it's just what is it, 16th album this week? 16th album? I mean, it is the relentlessness. And you see that in the backstory, and I promise you, it just gets better and better as the series goes on. But it's the doggedness, it's those, the 8 people who said, fuck you, go away, run away, and then it came back. And, it's because of that, all this exists. So, I don't know, I'm just
just still sort of living in this dream right now to be here.
Jon, you said that you're now in more a writing mode than anything else. What's next for you?
It's one day at a time. This great joy of being here today to share with you this film. The rest of it, I promise you, like Gotham said, is better and better. The release of Legendary today and the forthcoming album is just all about joy. And then it's that pursuit of excellence so that if and when we tour again, that we can go out there and truly embrace it just with sheer pleasure. And that's all that matters, is nothing more than the sheer pleasure of looking at the guys that I want to be with on that stage and singing these songs for you.
Tico, you're the closest to my age. We're both getting...
And we dress quite nicely as well, thank you.
No one lives forever, but the legacy goes on, the music goes on, the story goes on. And you just wrote something, your latest album is called Bon Jovi Forever. So describe how our human forms are mortal, but the art that you create does live on forever.
Well, I believe that music is the closest thing to God. It's the purity that we all have. And it's the only way to communicate, in my opinion, because we communicate well with it, that we can communicate with you. But I think the world's a better place with music.
And David, there's always in your art form, there's always, especially when you become this big, there's always a concerted effort to control things, to control the narrative. And how did you and the band do that, especially when there are parts of the story that may not be that pretty?
I think it was like taking it one day at a time. We were all together, we were doing what we needed to do, and it's not taking control of any narrative, I don't think. It's just living it. It's dreaming, whatever you can dream, you could do. And that was more important than anything. And it was at the beginning, it was 5 guys that were willing to leave everything they know. Leave home, leave it. We were gone from 84 till 90 for 6 years, and just believed in him, believed in us, and believed in you. And we're still here, still believing.
And finally, Gotham, you worked with athletes, Tom Brady, Kobe Bryant, Serena Williams. Any elements in common?
I mean, it's the work ethic. It is just that's, by the way, how this all started. Jon, we're both Patriots fans. We still believe, somehow, right now. But I know Dave's a Giants fan and reminds me of it every day. Jon had seen Man in the Arena, this thing we had done with Tom Brady, and he said, hey, Tom's got 20 years, I've got 40. Never told the story, but there's so much that, it's about performance, it's about getting to that place. And, what you hear is the song or you see the performance, but it's those rehearsals. It's just like, wait till you get to the second episodes and you see those, 200 plus shows, back-to-back albums. I mean, it's just like that, like I said, that edge, that doubt, that chip on the shoulder. So there's a lot of qualities. I mean, these guys are athletes and performers and dreamers. There's always talent. You don't get to this stage unless you're talented, but what makes you truly elite, like these guys in 40 plus years, is just the willingness to keep doing the work. And that is inspiring to me. Something I show my 16-year-old son every day, this is what it takes.
So once again, did you enjoy this? Okay. Listen, hold it there. I'm going to ask you the same question, but don't answer it till I raise my hand, okay? Same question, and then you can say yes when I raise my hand. Did you guys enjoy this? Listen to my instructions. Don't answer the question till I raise my hand. Did you guys enjoy this? So that silence, that stillness between the question and the answer is where music is born, where dreams are born. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bon Jovi, they've seen a million faces and they've rocked them all. And we're rocking along right here at South by Southwest 2024. So check back right here for more amazing premiere coverage.